This is the story of a glamorous influencer, admired by many, whose perfect life hit a brutal end. Jenny fell from the 17th floor of her apartment building. The fall was fatal. At first, it looked like a tragic accident, but the autopsy revealed something else. Marks of strangulation were found on her neck. She had been unconscious before the fall. There was only one explanation. She didn't fall. Someone pushed her. Her life didn't end by accident. It was taken. Police began by looking closely at Jenny's life. From the outside, she seemed to have it all: beauty, success, and a perfect family. She was a devoted wife and mother, admired by millions as a beauty influencer. Her husband, David, was a rising executive with a flawless public image. A year before her death, they moved into a luxury apartment complex. Jenny quickly became popular among the residents, known for her charm and warm, friendly nature. But behind the image of perfection, Jenny's life was far from ideal. Her husband, David, had a history of violence and controlling behavior. Recently, Jenny demanded a divorce. Police immediately turned their attention to David and everyone around him. David was successful in business, but in his private life, he was far from a good man. He had a history of violent behavior. There had been other women in the past, and even now, and recently, he had taken out a life insurance policy in Jenny's name. David became the prime suspect, but there was no direct evidence. As police focused on David, another secret surfaced. A second suspect came into view. Jenny had a lover. His name was Paul, younger, financially dependent on her for months, supported his lifestyle, but recently, she began to pull away. For Paul, this wasn't just heartbreak, it was a crisis. And suddenly, Paul was no longer someone investigators could ignore. Finally, the third suspect was Christine. At first, she was Jenny's closest friend, devoted, always helping, even with household matters. But the closeness didn't last. The friendship faded. Trust cracked. Christine came to believe Jenny was involved with her husband, a lawyer who had been advising Jenny on her social media affairs. Devotion turned into suspicion, suspicion into resentment. And according to those around them, Christine had a motive. With these three suspects in focus, police pushed the investigation deeper. A few days later, forensic analysis of Jenny's phone revealed the raw truth of that day. Jenny had developed a habit of recording her conversations with David and Paul. She was preparing for divorce. She wanted proof of David's aggression and protection from Paul. Those recordings revealed exactly what had happened. They preserved a complete record of her final hours. That morning, Jenny made her decision. She told David she wanted a divorce. David reacted with anger. The argument quickly turned violent. The assault confirmed what Jenny already knew: she had to leave the marriage. She was hurt, but still conscious. Later, Jenny turned to Paul. She realized she needed to end that relationship too. Paul had been living off her, and she wanted her life back. She called him. Jenny told Paul she was leaving the apartment for a while, that their relationship was over. Paul refused to accept it. At first, he tried to stop her, tried to hold on to her, but Jenny didn't waver. When Paul realized he was losing her, he became violent. He attacked her and strangled her until she collapsed. Jenny lost consciousness. Seeing her lying still on the floor, Paul panicked. Believing she might be dead, he fled the apartment. Minutes later, Christine arrived. She had come to confront Jenny about what she believed was an affair with her husband. She found Jenny on the floor, unconscious and barely breathing. Christine froze. Then, Jenny's phone rang. The caller ID showed her husband's name. In that moment, Christine became convinced Jenny had betrayed her. Jealousy turned into rage. She dragged Jenny to the balcony and pushed her over the edge. As she did, her voice was recorded clear, furious, unmistakable. She told Jenny to stay away from her husband. That sentence, captured on Jenny's phone, revealed the truth of what happened. Thanks to Jenny's habit of recording her conversations, the full sequence of that day was preserved. The recordings revealed a brutal truth. That day, 3 people became her aggressors. David, who was violent toward her that morning. Paul, who strangled her and left her unconscious. And Christine, who delivered the fatal push. Jenny's final hours were desperate. She was trying to end everything: the marriage, the affair, the chaos in her life. Instead, each of them drove her closer to death. All 3 were guilty. The truth was even more disturbing. Christine's husband had no relationship with Jenny at all. The phone call that triggered the final act was not an affair. It was Christine's children, using their father's phone, calling Jenny to ask where their mother was. A tragic misunderstanding, a fatal assumption. In the end, David, Paul, and Christine were all arrested, each held responsible for their role in Jenny's death. Her life appeared perfect from the outside, but beneath it, lay betrayal, obsession, and violence. Jenny tried to leave everything behind. Instead, everything caught up with her, and the truth remained.